are taking a closer look at the climate crisis and the dangerous drought at Lake Mead in Nevada. It provides 40 million Americans with water, and now it's at its lowest level since it was created in the 1930s.
The water level in Lake Mead reached historic lows, leaving the largest man-made reservoir in the United States just 895 feet from a dead pool. A dead pool occurs when the water level in a reservoir falls so low that it cannot be released via the dam. The current water level in Lake Mead is around 1044. This month marked the lowest recorded water level in Lake Mead since the 1930s and the lake was built. Lake Mead has shrunk over the previous 2 decades due to climate change and rising water usage in the southwestern United States. Although a drop of 895 feet would be required for the lake to become a dead pool. This prospect is light years away. The populations of Arizona, California, Nevada, and portions of Mexico would be severely impacted by the lakes drying up simultaneously. Water managers in the southwestern states, directed by the Bureau of Reclamation, are regulating Colorado River inflows. Additionally, they intend to establish a water allocation parity among the region. These initiatives aim to restore the water supply of Lake Mead and Lake Powell, another reservoir in worse condition. Even if Lake Mead never reached a dead pool, there is still a possibility that water levels could drop so low as to limit hydroelectric power generation. Robert Glennon, emeritus professor at the University of Arizona, asserts that as the water level in our western reservoirs decreases, the production of power becomes problematic. He said that when the reservoir dries up, less water flows through the turbines, resulting in less liquid pressure to drive the turbines and reduced electricity output. According to Bureau of Reclamation data, Lake Mead's water levels have declined significantly in recent years. By the end of June 20, the water level in the lake was around 10 feet. 1 year ago, the elevation of Lake Mead was 1069 feet above sea level. While the lake's diminishing water level is somewhat alarming, the findings being made are quite fascinating. As the lake dries out, it unearths the objects it buried, some of which date back to World War Yellow Lake, means diminishing water level. In late April, exposed an input pipe that has supplied Nevadans with water since 1971. According to the Las Vegas Police Department, a man's rotting corpse was discovered in a steel barrel on the Hemingway fishing pier of the reservoir. After a comprehensive investigation of the remains, Lieutenant Ray Spencer concluded that gunshot wounds indicate the corpse was murdered. According to Spencer, the Clark County Medical Examiner is currently examining the body for identification purposes on the basis of the victim's dress and footwear. He indicated that detectives have determined that his death occurred between 1975 and 1980. Jeff, an expert on the history of the Moore-Bin loss, believes that the recovered body was the result of mob violence. Jeff is the vice chairman of exhibits and programs at the Las Bay Mob Museum. According to him, the practice of placing victims in barrels is an 18th century mob tactic. Even while he is aware of such cases, he believes this is the first one to be discovered at Lake Mead. Given the prevalence of mob violence in Las Vegas in the past, he predicts more stunning findings will be unearthed as the lake recedes. A week later, the second set of human remains was uncovered. It was discovered by park workers in a lake near Colville Bay. The Clark County Medical quickly took possession of the body to determine its identity and cause of death. According to a study released by the Las Vegas Police Department, there was insufficient evidence to conclude that the victim had been murdered. Authorities attribute the discovery to 2 sisters called Lindsay and Lynette Melvin, who were paddle boarding on the lake. Authorities suspect the bones to be those of a drowning victim, similar to the numerous others who have died in the lake over the years. However, exposed pipelines and human bones are not the only artifacts found in the mud. In addition to the dozens of submerged boats and large volumes of trash, several guns, detonated, explosives, historical artifacts, and other items have also been discovered. The B-29 Superfortress bomber, which rests at the bottom of Lake Mead, is perhaps the most intriguing thing discovered to date when it was originally introduced. The B-29 Superfortress bomber was at the forefront of aviation technology due to an era in navigation. while conducting atmospheric testing. The B-29 crashed into Lake Mead prior to the jet crashing and plunging into the. All 5 members of the crew were safe. The B-29's wreckage was not found by local divers until 2002. In 2003, archaeologists from the National Park Service mapped and recorded the crash site. A partly abandoned village would be an additional discovery of interest during the construction of the Hoover Dam and Lake Mead in the 1930s. The small Nevada village of St. Thomas was purposefully built in 1865 Street. Thomas was a prosperous Mormon settlement with farms, a school, a hotel, a grocery store, a post office, and an ice cream. Due to the damming of the Colorado River, which produced Lake Mead, the village of St. Thomas was inundated with rising levels of Lake Mead, a completely submerged street. Thomasville, along with nearby Anise Indian sites, was an additional hamlet submerged by Lake Mead. In response to fluctuating water levels in Lake Mead, the National Park Service, that it has regularly appeared and disappeared over the years. Guests may visit the ghost town's ruins if they so desire. One will undoubtedly discover fractured earth and the foundations of old constructions, such as the St. Thomas Schoolhouse. All artifacts from the site are apparently protected by a federal government. The Lost City Museum is located in Overton at 730's Mole Valley. Bee houses, other objects found in the region. Despite being a matter of concern, the shrinking lake has attracted the attention of both tourists and long-term residents. Many people assume that wherever there are corpses, there will be hidden wealth. As buried objects are unearthed, it is hard to tell what will be unearthed next, be it a cash barrel or the remains of an extinct species. The fact that Lake Mead is situated on public grounds within a national recreation area has produced the likelihood of a massive treasure hunt. Despite the fact that it is illegal to use metal detectors or large magnets to search for sunken artifacts. Law enforcement agents occasionally catch persons in violation of the regula. Lake Mead's depletion can be partially attributed to the continuous drought that has persisted in the Southwest for the past 23 years. Both human consumption and actions, such as the burning of fossil fuels, have exacerbated dehydration. Current climate conditions, such as a warmer and drier atmosphere, are expected to prevail in the Southwest states despite the alarming situation of lake. Nonetheless, the population is growing, necessitating an increase in water use. This year, water was diverted upstream from Lake Mead to protect hydroelectric production at Lake Power. Due to the declining water level, the production of Hoover Dam has fallen by around 15%. In a perfect world, the bigger the volume of water in Lake Mead, the greater the pressure generated, and hence, the greater the amount of electricity generated. Whether or not Lake Mead and Lake Powell can continue to provide hydro repair in the future is a growing issue for government officials. Camille Toden, the Commissioner of the Bureau of Reclamation, discussed Lake Mead's future at a Senate hearing held last month. She advocated that next year's allocation of water from Lakes Mead and Powell must be significant. Although it may be an excellent choice, it comes with a catch. Last year, California, Arizona, and Nevada drank approximately 7 million acre-feet of Colorado River water. These states will have access to a maximum of around 4 million acre-feet of water the following year. It would have a significant influence on the supply of water for agriculture in states like California and Arizona, which produce 25% of the nation's food. Other than agriculture, the Southwest economies, which rely significantly on water usage, will be badly affected, once a scene of fond memories. The lake today seems more of an environmental disaster. Some individuals believe the lake contains hidden treasures, whilst others believe it may no longer be safe to visit Lake Mead. Visitors are encouraged to take extra caution near the lake shorelines because of the greater risk of meeting dangers. Due to the rate at which the water has receded, what appears to be dry land is typically a thin coating of sun-baked clay covering a marsh. Hence the conclusion, the time has come for us to hear from you. Share your thoughts on Lake Mead's diminishing water level in the discussion section below. And how do you believe the problem should be addressed for persons residing in the Southwestern? Don't forget to demonstrate your support by enjoying this video and subscribing to the channel.